street from a block. We're flipping a 2 to a 4 ain't an option. I hustle by nipping and nipping. I'm destined to get it. You know that I'm all in. See money be calling.
And welcome back to the pod. I'm your host Ryan. We got your boy Alessandro.
Yes, sir. And we have a replacement chop. This week we have the man between the sticks, Rafa Rolo Pimenta.
What's up?
Lolo.
Rolo.
Rolo, like the chocolate?
That's my middle name.
Oh,
Sweet.
is it actually?
Yeah.
No way. I actually
With
didn't
the
know
caramel
that.
inside.
That's wild, buddy. Well, guess what, boys? The Premier League is back, and we plus Andrew have put together a conjoined prediction list. Who's gonna be crowned champ? Oops. Technical difficulties in the chat, lads. All right, like I was saying, who's going to be crowned champions? Who's going to finish top of Europe? And who's going to be dropping down to the championship?
Yeah, so basically what we ended up doing for the start of the Premier League is we did our conjoined predictions. So I amalgamated all our predictions together, and I'll show them on the screen right now. These are my picks. These are Ryan's picks. These are Rafa's picks. And these are the absent Andrew's picks, who's not here to defend his garbage picks.
Oh, man. Everton being relegated, I just don't see it. But
All right.
nonetheless, we'll put it all to...
So let's start with, we want to go from top to bottom.
I think top to bottom is the best way to do it.
All right. So I'm the one who amalgamated the list. So I kind of know who put who where. But let's start with the champions. The majority of us went with Man City to repeat as champions this season.
Was there anyone that didn't?
Me.
Oh,
This guy.
yes.
Tell him who you had fucking winning it, buddy.
I had Liverpool winning the league.
God.
And that is why they came in second.
Dear God. You know
So
what?
why did you guys pick Man City to win the league again?
Rafa, you could start it, buddy.
that team's just too good. They just know each other too well. Losing Zinchenko last season and Gabriel Jesus, pieces that have been with them from mainly the start, and it's like you gave them to another championship contender that we didn't know was going to contend. I don't know. It's just they're too good.
Mm-hmm.
They lose Zinchenko. They replace him with Ake. They lose Cancelo. Ake's there. Walker steps in. It's like they just have like 3-4 replacements in each position that can put in a shift.
100%.
All right. Now let me ask you a question. So do you think that them losing key bench pieces or rotational pieces like Gundogan and Mahrez will come back to bite them in the latter stages of the season when that rotation really, really benefits you? Especially a player like Gundogan, who has, for the past 2 seasons, scored very important goals for Manchester City.
He has, and he's good, but they already replaced him.
With who?
Kovacic,
buddy.
someone who's Premier League proven,
Yep.
Champions League proven. It's like you're replacing a solid player for a solid player. Same thing with Mahrez, gone, but look at the weekend. Cole Palmer scoring a big goal.
Oh, yeah.
They just have guys that can put in a shift.
Exactly.
Phil Foden last season didn't get much game time because Jack Grealish was doing his thing, so he can step in.
Okay. And how about this? Do you guys think that other teams are starting to figure out how to game plan against Haaland and basically nullify him? Because Haaland, for me, is a player who thrives on his physical attributes, that being his pace, his strength, and his height.
100%.
But he doesn't have that finesse, that dribbling traits like a player like Neymar, or like an Mbappe would have, or players of that caliber. So do you think that other teams will start implementing a plan like Arsenal did against them last weekend, or like Inter did in the Champions League finals, where they just shut down Haaland, and Man City really has a hard time scoring? They have a lot of the ball, but not too much on the attacking end.
Well, let's be realistic. I think Haaland is like that traditional number 9. Doesn't need that flair. Doesn't need that creativity to him. He's just getting in the right spot at the right time.
Tied on Lewandowski.
That's true.
Like literally, like there's top class guys. Haaland for sure. He's not. He has like a consistent pattern of not showing up in big games for City. But you know what? In the end of the day, he's still gonna score you 20, 30 goals in a season. being a top player playing for Man City, you're gonna need that from him. And I think obviously showing last season he produced it. He first season in the league, and realistically, I don't see him getting worse. I only see him getting better. He's still super young, and second year in the Prem. For sure, losing guys like Rafa said, like losing the guys like Mahrez will show something. But Cole Palmer played massive for them, scoring a goal in a massive game for them, and Kovacic, massive signing for them. Obviously, Gundogan's scoring massive goals for them in finals and last games of seasons.
Yeah, for sure.
Was massive for them and game changing, title changing moves. But you know what? I believe in what Pep has in his head and what he's ready to do with this team. Like let's see. And obviously, the season's not over by January. We saw that.
Sure.
We saw that last season
With Arsenal.
Arsenal had it. They if you wanted to call the season by January, they had it up by 12 points.
It was like yeah.
Like it's crazy. And you know what, Man City, if they need to, they'll do it. They'll go find someone for that right wing. They'll find players to add to their depth to make their team contending for that title. Especially if it's tight by January, they'll see. You'll see.
For sure. And I'd like to preface this as well by saying the transfer window is not closed yet.
Exactly.
It's not done, and there's a lot of business to be done. So before you roast us in the comments, this table has been done before the transfer window closes. Manchester City is looking at getting some big moves. Right now, this week, I've seen transfer rumors of Paqueta going to Manchester City as well as Matoma.
Yeah.
So those are two massive game-changing players. So let's see what happens. But let's go down to number 2, who I had as number 1, Liverpool. Do you guys think Liverpool has done enough to strengthen their midfield to contend with City this season?
Rafa, what do you think?
Here's the thing. Another team like City, they lost key pieces, but theirs were more significant. Fabinho, Firmino, they lost a lot of like good players.
Their captain too, Jordan Henderson.
Yeah.
James Milner.
It's like all those guys that you looked up to in the locker room. It's like, who are you gonna look up to now? It's like, besides Van Dijk,
Yeah.
who's that figure?
Let me tell you something right now. They cut off the dead wood. Dead wood, I tell you.
Debatable.
Fabinho was as slow as a tortoise. You could see the man is starting to slow down. Jordan Henderson, a shell of his former self. He needed to go. And so was Bobby Firmino, a talented player a couple years ago, but really started to drop off. And right now, in their front 6, really, they have no room for him.
Oh, for sure. That's why, obviously, in the end of the day, he had to go. But you can't say he dropped in form. The man barely even had a chance to crack the starting 11 last season.
He has dropped in form. And let me tell you this. If he was so good, someone else would have picked him up in the Premier League. Would not have gone to the Saudi.
You could say that about so many guys that just went to Saudi.
I'm talking about him specifically.
Okay, but if we're being like...
Who would pick him up? No one. No top 10 team would pick him up.
Buddy, I think any team in the Prem, outside of the top 3,
who in the top 10 is picking him in this league?
As a backup striker, I think a lot of teams are.
Which one?
I could see Tottenham going in and taking Bobby Firmino if they knew they had lost Harry Kane.
Yeah, but that's
even
a different
a team
story.
Like Crystal Palace, it's like picking up a guy like that.
Oh yeah,
it's like
100%.
Someone that's playing in the Champions League, finals. It's good.
A team like Brentford who has no Ivan Toney for basically half the season or more.
It's more.
Yeah, but look where we have Brentford on our table.
No, exactly, but you know what I mean. Like
that's
what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying to you. Like no top level team with at least a top 7 is probably would be picking him up. So if you're trying to contend for the title, you're not going to have a striker like Bobby Firmino. I can see a Villa
going for him. When your only striker is really Ollie Watkins. Sure,
exactly.
He had a decent second half of the season.
Look where we have Villa.
Well, I actually had him at 7th. So,
Anyway, let's move on. This is the reason why I think that Liverpool is going to really push and possibly be champions this season. I think this season, Darwin Núñez is going to have a transformative season, and he's actually going to catch his form, and we're all going to see him as a finished product this season.
You know what? We kind of saw it at his time at Benfica. His first season there was pretty bad. It wasn't that great. His first season.
Last season.
Yeah. His first season at Benfica was pretty bad. Like his first year there, then his second year at Benfica was like phenomenal.
Yeah, so I think this season he's going to be able to pick up his form, and he's going to really show his class.
Not even pick up his form. He didn't play too bad last season. It's just Liverpool weren't that good.
Yeah,
so it's like
exactly.
He didn't play bad. I think he scored like 22 goals or something in all competitions. That's not terrible.
Oh yeah,
no, definitely not
for
bad.
someone that's just new to the Prem.
But if you watch him play, he has so many opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
If he just gets his finishing down, Liverpool will be contending for the championship this season.
Oh, 100%.
With the link up between Salah, with Jota still in the mix, they got Cody Gakpo. They have, in my opinion, the best attack in the Premier League this season.
Depth wise, I actually do agree with you there, but it leads down to more than that. Like you gotta look at their defense. Are you still playing Trent at right back?
Yeah.
Is Klopp giving him the chance to play in a more mid central area, midfield, CDM, Cam even? Is he going to give him that opportunity? Look how he played for England. I know it's off topic a little bit, but look how he played for England in the qualifiers. He played Cam one game, and he freaking played a phenomenal ball. He scored a goal. Like,
definitely, they'll probably working on formations, which allow him to probably start in right back, but transition to the midfield during open play. Yeah. I think Klopp is a very good manager, and he'll 100%. Be able to figure out positions. But I think this season they really strengthened their midfield, which was a big lacking quality last season.
No playmaker last season.
Now they have, but as a deep lying playmaker, they have McAllister coming in from Brighton, and they also got Szoboszlai or whatever his name
Dominic
is. Szoboszlai from Leipzig.
Love it.
So
no,
I think these guys are really going to transform the midfield, and they're going to be a much needed rejuvenation in the midfield, replacing guys like Fabinho and Jordan Henderson, guys that were really slow and starting to lose their legs.
Yeah.
So I think with those players, they'll be contending for the top of the season. Like I said, if you have Salah and Darwin and Jota and Gakpo firing on all cylinders from the beginning to the end of the season, I think that they'll be a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, fair enough. I honestly just ending off on Liverpool. Let's see if Van Dijk, he's not a shadow of what he once was 2 seasons ago, when they won the Champions League, when they won the title. Let's see if he brings back his form, even with Konate with him.
They get Joe Matip back this season.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see if Liverpool's defense could turn it around, and hey, if they can, all to them to winning the chip. Maybe they could, 100%. Because it's not only just your forward line. It's not only about your midfield. It's what's on your defense, brother. Like, in the end of the day. But yeah, who do we have third, boys?
Next up, we got Arsenal. Now, I know a lot of you guys had them at second. So why did you guys put them at second?
Go ahead, Rafa. It's your team, buddy. This is your
big
team.
Arsenal fan.
Gooners.
Last season, heartbreaking. No other word to put it. I was one of those people that was saying, oh, it's not over till it's over, because I know we tend to choke it at the end. 2 seasons ago, being up like 2-3 points of Tottenham and then going to lose, not making Champions League, really helped us focus on the league this season.
Mm-hmm.
Second is where I think we'll finish, because it's like the signings we've made, they are literally superb. Declan Rice, Premier League proven, he's amazing.
Yep. From my team.
Yeah.
God.
Julian Timber, someone that like a lot of Premier League teams were looking at. We probably won't play him center back. We'll probably push him more towards the right, or the left, either one. But those guys, they can think. And we also have another signing that I'm
Havertz.
There it is, Havertz. Someone that the problem with Havertz is I think he's gonna play center mid or cam,
which I think is probably better for him.
I think Cam is the spot for him. I think as a backup to Odegaard, I think he's massive there.
I think he'll feel more comfortable playing behind the striker. Yeah. But the good thing about Havertz is he does have that versatility to play a multitude of positions,
for sure,
which is good for Arsenal.
Mm-hmm.
But Arsenal made a lot of good signings this season, and they really bolstered their depth.
Yeah,
and I think that's what let them down last season.
For sure.
When you had those injuries to players like Saliba, it really cost them the league.
Gabriel Jesus as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So now you guys have another backup at striker, another attacking option in Havertz. You guys have a world-class midfielder in Declan Rice, and you also got Jurian Timber, a guy who can play on as a fullback and as a center back if needed. So he's like the ultimate kind of rotational player.
For sure. I see him as like Nathan Ake in a sense for Arsenal. You know what I mean? If he could adapt to the league well, he could be even better. Still got plenty of potential to him.
He's young.
And man, like just how they ended the season, I think if they just had that little bit more depth to their lineup, I think the league was all Arsenal's at the end of the day. But obviously, in the end of the day, the injuries cost them the league, and you can't do really much about that.
Exactly. But this season, I feel like they're prepared, and Mikel Arteta has bolstered his squad
For sure.
in those lacking positions.
Mm-hmm.
And now I think he has a squad to compete with the likes of Liverpool, City, and whoever else is up there.
Yeah.
Last season, the depth that did kill us was Saliba had to play the game against Sporting, the first leg, and 2-2. He went up, I think it was up for a corner. He got hurt, and that's what killed us. It's like a little injury like that. If we have the depth, obviously Saliba doesn't have to play that game.
Exactly.
If you have Timber, he can sub in.
For sure.
an
And
assist.
it's massive.
Yeah.
Playing in Europa League, playing in Champions League now, you need that depth, man. Because you're going into Champions League wanting to win it. No matter what team you are, you're playing your best lineup every single time out there in Champions League. And, if someone gets injured out there, like, it's as unfortunate as it is, you have someone there ready to go, as good or maybe a little bit worse. But hey, it's depth, man, and that depth is what wins you the league at this point.
Mm-hmm.
You got to splash the cash, and I think Arsenal did a phenomenal job at that.
Yep.
What do you guys think about Florian Balogun?
I don't know, man.
Why doesn't Arsenal recall him?
Oh, he is.
He's in the squad.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He's been part of the preseason squad, but I don't think he's had many opportunities.
Yeah, there's a lot of Arsenal youngsters that haven't, and they've had to. Even Smith
Exactly.
Rowe now.
Oh yeah,
Smith Rowe 2 seasons ago, like I was saying,
Was a top talent.
he was basically Saka of like 2 years ago. Like he had
him and Saka were there.
Yeah, exactly. But obviously the injury he had last season cost him a lot. I think at this point Arsenal has some tough decisions to make. Send them out on loan, or after the season Balogun just had with Stead Ren.
I think you got to keep him. I think you got to try to integrate him in the squad somehow.
Yeah.
Give him some minutes. Rotate him with Martinelli or Asaka. Give him those times.
Yeah, but the thing is, he's not even a winger at this point. He's a striker. He's a pacey, like...
I think he has the talent to play on the wing, but he can play a multitude of positions.
Yeah.
That's not a problem. But
for sure.
I think having him in their arsenal will be very beneficial for them.
Even just we have Nketiah there, but
Exactly.
you could give like
I think
a chance.
I think this is a thing. In January, you come to a decision. You choose either one to keep.
Yeah, you got to choose between Nketiah or
because either one could go play for any team in the Prem probably, and you'll get a lot of money for either guy.
Of course,
at this point,
at least you're looking upwards of like 30.
Yeah, 100%. All right, our next decision, Man U at fourth. I think that one was a solid choice for all around. I think looking at what real signings have they made in the summer besides like massive one like Onana, but
I actually had them in fifth.
Yeah, man.
A little bit different, but they didn't do too much.
Man United is a special team in my heart, and it is Ten Hag's second season in charge, and he spent a lot of money on this Manchester United squad.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't know if they have the complete depth to compete for that upper echelon in the table in the Premier League right now.
I don't think so.
Because I think that if you get an injury, I don't think Manchester United has done enough in their squad or has got enough rotational depth to really compete for that upper echelon in the table. I mean, if you get an injury to either Martinez or Varane, you're stuck playing either Lindelof or Maguire as it stands.
Maguire actually moved on over to West Ham.
Oh, he's already
Oh
gone.
god.
Deal done. Yes.
Oh god.
30 million.
Oh god.
So you know what? They needed to move on from Maguire, and I'm kind of happy they did.
Oh
They did.
god.
Because he was getting absolutely
Oh, he was
roasted,
atrocious.
and he was terrible for Manchester United.
Very, very
So it's good they moved on because I'd rather play Lindelof than Maguire, and I feel like if you're Ten Hag, you kind of have that pressure to play the English captain as a backup rather than like a Lindelof, because he does have the captaincy for England, and he did come with that huge transfer fee, so you're kind of forced to use them in those rotational moments. But you could see the instant impact they had when they signed Lisandro Martinez.
Mm-hmm.
He really transformed the team. A center back who's able to play out from the back, pass from the back, and have that. He has that composure on the ball.
Yeah.
Whereas Maguire, every time you had the ball,
He looked nervous.
you feel like he's just gonna make a mistake.
For sure, for sure. You didn't see that confidence in him when playing out the back with Maguire, like you said. And you know what? Maybe it is a good signing for West Ham because they do play a different style of football. But hey, man, maybe this is what he needed. Maybe
Yeah.
this is what he needs to bring back his form, bring back his name into the league, and show the haters that he's
Prove
better
them
than
wrong.
what he was.
For sure, I
You know
think
what I
I think you'll actually do really really good at West Ham.
I
Believe it
feel
or
like he'll get like an opportunity, and it's like
believe it or not, yeah.
Oh yeah,
it's like when you move to
100%.
Manchester United, all eyes are on you,
Yeah,
obviously. But now it's like you're still at a
Well, I
big
think
club,
at West Ham he's not going to be forced to play out the back,
yeah,
Yeah.
right? He's
Mhm.
going to be sitting a little bit more deep.
for
He's
sure.
not going to be having those same responsibilities
not
as
so
he
much
did
pressure.
it in Manchester United, right, under a different manager. But I think Manchester United right now is still in that transitional period.
Yeah.
They are getting rid of a lot of their players that they had last season. They got rid of already Fred. They just lost Maguire. They got rid of Alanga. They're getting really rid of a lot of players, and they're still figuring out what they want to do. What the likes of, I think, Sancho, a guy they spent a lot of money on, who hasn't had that return yet for
Yep.
them, right? So I think they're still going to give him opportunities to play, but
For
they
sure.
do have players on the come up like Garnacho,
Yes.
right, who has a lot of talent. So I think, and Manchester United got Mason Mount,
Yeah.
who is a very good player, and I think is a great like-for-like replacement to play the same role as Eriksson did.
Yeah. And you know what? That having that English player in Mason Mount, it's more important, obviously, in the Prem because you need your English players.
For sure.
And, taking Maguire out, adding Mason Mount in, buddy, I'd take Mason over Maguire any day of the week. Any day of the week in English players. But let's move on. Newcastle was our fifth.
I had them in fourth. I swapped them with Man U.
That's crazy. You know what? Because I had Chelsea there, but you know what? Like Newcastle is a team to watch. It's like I think the thing with Newcastle is can they live up to the same form they had last year?
Yeah, they were a very solid defensive team last
Yep.
season, and that's what really what got them their points.
For sure. And you got guys like Bruno Guimaraes playing out of his mind. Miguel Almiron, who thought he was gonna come out and just storm the league like that?
Yeah,
Joe Linton moving into center mid.
Oh yeah, that was
one's
just
still crazy to
massive,
me.
dude. That's massive for a team like Newcastle. But in the end, like I said, will they live up to the same form they were on? And if they could even reach higher levels with what they have and what they got in the offseason as well. So
my thing was last season was I figured, did Newcastle have such a great finish this season because they were playing really good, or was it because teams like Liverpool, Chelsea, Tottenham were underperforming? That's my thought, and they've made some decent signings. I mean, they got Lisandro Tonali,
Yeah.
who hypothetically should be a really good player for them in the midfield, a world-class player.
oh yeah, Sandro Tonali to any team in the Prem would be massive.
The only thing is
Simple.
though with him, he didn't want to be there.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and you can still tell to this
You can
day.
tell.
You could just tell
He does.
he's
He
a
looks like something's off.
oh man, he's
He
a
wanted,
Rossoneri
he
for
wanted,
life,
he
buddy.
wanted to stay.
He got
yeah.
pushed out of the club.
Oh yeah. Well, in the end,
They needed the money,
in the end, he did what he had to do.
or the
He-
club did what they had to do.
Well, yeah. Either
A
way,
little bit of both. Yeah.
yeah, you have to accept the contract. You have to accept to leave.
Yeah.
And like,
It's bittersweet, right?
of course,
But I think he does have now he has a platform to showcase his ability in the most competitive league in the world.
Yeah, obviously he's still playing in Serie A, still playing for such a historic club for AC Milan. You're still playing at that high level, but obviously, yeah, in the Prem League, you can't.
You really have that
Yeah,
platform.
you do. Obviously, 100%. But yeah, like let's see.
Let's see if they can keep up with their defensive record. Let's see if their offense can generate. They lost Saint Maximum, such a flair player on the wing.
Good to have.
I guess they have him. They got Anthony Gordon now to play in that kind of position, who's an up and coming English player as well.
Yeah.
So we'll see what they got in store. But at 6th we have Chelsea. So Chelsea, massive roster changes.
Oh yeah.
Starting from the top with the manager getting in Mauricio Pochettino to the
Huge.
bottom, cutting out almost all their dead wood. I mean, they've cleared up so much players and gotten so much new players.
Mm-hmm.
It's
they got
gonna
good
be a
money.
real transition for them.
And they got good money for it too.
Oh,
which is-
100%, buddy.
It's like majority of them, not even majority, but a decent amount went to Saudi.
Thank
Yeah.
you, Saudi.
It's it's like Koulibaly.
Yeah.
He played a season later. Have a good night.
Yeah.
But
Aubameyang, Koulibaly, like Mendy,
a lot of them went out.
Kovacic, Mason Mount.
Yeah.
But same thing, like we said. The thing I think about Arsenal in this regards is Arsenal needs time to like adjust themselves.
Yeah.
Chelsea's definitely need that time.
Yeah,
And
100%.
Chelsea's just starting with it.
Oh yeah, and I think giving Maurizio Pochettino that off season, the preseason to work with his team was crucial for them. And obviously, you still got guys like Enzo Fernandez coming in, back from half of last season. You know, I think debatably January through he was probably Chelsea's best player.
No, for sure.
And you know, if he could still play at the same level or even higher this year, and adding guys in like at striker like Nico Jackson
Nicholas Jackson. Yeah.
was just huge.
It's definitely good now because the injury to Nkunku.
Yeah.
3 months.
Exactly. Like that definitely is what I think a reason why they'll still finish like 5th or 6th, but nonetheless they have top quality players, top quality manager, and you know, I think the sky's the limit for them this year.
I think Chelsea's that team that's going to have the most variation. Like, they're going to be the team that could surprise everyone and come higher than expected, or they can really, really underperform as well.
For sure.
With all these young players, with all these new pieces, with a new manager, let's see how they gel.
The only thing about Chelsea, I think, is why they can come like higher than Tottenham, Villa, Brighton. They're not in European competitions.
Exactly,
yeah.
The only thing is the Premier League.
100%. That's a good shout there. I like that. I didn't even think of that, but yeah, no, 100%. I think Chelsea has that chance to really focus on the season and hopefully develop their players into straight, decent, top class Premier League players, and go from there.
Yeah, we'll see what the season holds for them. Next up, we have Tottenham in 7th, just inside of Europe. Now, this is, just to preface this is happening while Harry Kane is still in Tottenham, but it looks like he's on the verge of leaving Tottenham for Bayern Munich.
For 100 mil.
Now, losing a player that scores 25 plus goals a season is absolutely massive.
Yep.
If Tottenham loses Harry Kane, I don't know if they can recover from such a loss of a massive striker. Because as a backup to him, you have Richarlison. And last season, he had a stinker.
Oh yeah. What, one goal all season? Did he have one goal?
I think he had 1 goal. It was 4 goals. 3 of them were offside, and he took off his shirt 3 times.
Yeah,
3 times.
He took off his shirt more
man.
times than he scored the goals.
Insane.
So, if Tottenham loses Harry Kane, I mean, like, they're going to have to go in the transfer market and they're going to have to open up the bank book and get someone to fill that void. And unless Hyunmin Son can rekindle his form,
I think he can.
then Tottenham's going to be in big trouble. I mean, if Son can rekindle it, they'll be okay. But if they play the way they do last season, I mean,
Yeah.
it's going to be really tough for them. They also have a new manager this season,
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Celtic manager. Don't
Ange
even ask-
Postecoglou.
But he said that so well. I've heard you say some names really brutally,
That's impressive.
but that was pretty impressive.
Sign me, Tottenham. I can be Ten Hag.
But yeah, no, like you said, Heung-min Son has to live up to his former self, and it's this move really it's the definition of what Tottenham's season is gonna be.
Yep.
If Harry Kane moves, maybe they finish even lower.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? There's teams right up there behind me.
Yeah.
I mean, they have like Aston Villa, Brighton, Crystal Palace, even Brentford. Like those guys will be right up there for that the last European spot.
Yeah.
And this is a cutthroat league. It's no longer top 4 or 5.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of good teams in this league, and if you start off to a bad form without that world class player in Harry Kane, that tried and true player that you've relied on for years for goals, I think that if they lose him, they're gonna struggle.
100%.
The only thing is, I think if they do lose him, it's great business. You're getting 100 mil for a guy that's 30,
Yeah.
29.
Yeah.
You got to look at it in that aspect too. It's like it's great business.
Oh, for sure.
Bayern Munich's knocking at the door. They're opening it, and it's like the only thing is, it's like
Who are you gonna replace him?
what are
with?
you gonna replace him with? I can't think of anyone.
You know what? Like in the end of the day, like Bayern is a team that is seen to have to win the league every single year.
Yeah,
But I think now it's to the point where they want more than that. You gotta go for Champions League, man.
Mm-hmm.
Even though there's so many good teams this year.
The
buddy.
thing is with Tottenham is that Tottenham sees themselves as a top club,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
They have a world class stadium and a
What do we think
massive
of Tottenham.
fan base. So if they lose Harry Kane, they better have a backup plan because they will miss him.
They will.
25 goals in a season plus is no joke.
Oh yeah.
So let's see what happens with them.
Exactly. That's gonna be an interesting one.
Next up, Aston Villa.
I think we could talk about both Villa and Brighton at this point because really I think I think Brighton, Villa, and Tottenham are three teams that could really battle it out neck and neck for that last European spot. The way Villa and Brighton played last season, Matoma, that whole Villa side, the way they played, I've talked about it basically every single podcast we've been on. It's like literally the form they were on after January. If they could like redo that this season, buddy, they could finish anywhere in this table.
The thing is with Brighton is they have a lot of players that I see that might get poached before the deadline day.
Yeah, Caicedo.
And now Matoma.
Yeah.
As well.
So
100%.
if they lose these two players, it's gonna be tough to replace them. Although they've said that in the past with a couple of other players they've moved on from, and their scouting staff has been really talented and picked up players that no one's really heard of, and they've been able to flourish. So I guess you can't doubt them.
Mm-hmm. No, 100%. And I think that's what made them such a good team last year is the unpredictability. And, I think every player on that team played with a chip on their shoulder.
Especially the manager, too,
buddy.
coming in. It's like,
De
Zerbi did a phenomenal job coming in, man. And, all credit to that whole squad. They played phenomenal. The Ecuadorians, Estupinan and Caicedo were massive for them. Bombing Estupinan, I don't think he got as much credit as he should have. Replacing Cucurella right at the beginning of the season.
He did fantastic.
Phenomenal job, man. But yeah, I think Villa, a phenomenal starting 11 team. I think
And they just got better.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and
Tielemans and Pau Torres.
Yep. Yeah, man. And
That's insane.
I think last season they didn't even get Diego Carlos.
Oh yeah, he didn't play. He didn't play.
He tore his ACL right at preseason. That was a shame because massive player for Sevilla the year before.
Exactly.
Look where Sevilla finished this season.
They did go on to
Buddy.
win the Europa League, but that is their competition.
Yeah, that literally should be named.
But in
Sevilla.
the league, it's like it was poor. They finished bottom half. No?
Yeah, they were literally like 2 spots off of relegation or something like that.
They were low. They were down
man.
there.
It's wild to see that. But let's see, man, because there's so many signings Villa's made this year and replicate their form from last year. Buddy, the sky's the limit for this team as well.
And they also got Diaby.
Yeah.
Another massive
buddy.
Someone else I
signing.
completely forgot about.
Yeah. No,
That's
we
insane.
talked about it last podcast. But yeah, like, buddy, this team could be world class this
Like
year.
you said, the sky's the limit for them.
Yeah,
Completely.
100%.
You could
They-
even see them in the top
Five.
five.
Yeah, man, straight up.
They could swap with Chelsea
Completely.
if Chelsea doesn't pop off. If
Chelsea doesn't
Newcastle
figure out themselves,
can't rekindle their defensive form as they did last season, they might be swapping with Aston Villa, who's going to be definitely on their tails.
Yeah.
For sure.
Newcastle also in the Champions League, so
Yeah.
they're going to focus on that as well.
Yeah, so they're going to have that. They're going to have to really focus on their rotations.
Yeah. All right. Moving on to like that 3 group after Brighton, Villa, and Tottenham. We got Fulham, Brentford, Palace. I think this one's going to be an interesting mediocre battle between the 3, just because I think all 3 teams haven't really made much noise for themselves in the transfer window. They've lost players, massive players for their club through either
Exactly.
suspensions, transfers, anything like that.
Yeah.
I think I think it's gonna have to come down to coaching, management, how the players want to show up in the end of the day. If guys want to step up, losing guys like Wilfred Zaha, David Raya. If Fulham lose guys like Mitrovic and Polina, those are guys you can't replace on those
They
squads.
already signed Raul Jimenez, though.
Yeah,
That's the only thing why I still have them. in
He's
the 11.
Raul Jimenez has been a shell of himself
Yeah,
ever since he got that
100%.
head injury.
yeah, 100%.
So the way I see it is this: you look at Crystal Palace; they lost Wilfred Zaha, one of their best players for the last I don't know how many seasons.
5-6 seasons.
You have Fulham last season, who relied on the goal scoring of Mitrovic. Basically,
up.
the offense centered around one man,
Yeah.
who wants to leave now and go to Saudi
I'm
and get
pretty sure he
and
did.
take the bag.
No, not yet.
Oh, no,
not
it's
yet,
not
man.
confirmed?
They don't want him
Yeah.
to leave, but he wants to leave.
Yeah.
And in my experience in watching football, when a player wants to go,
You got to let him go.
they might force their way out. And I don't know if Mitrovic is such a professional that he's not going to let that affect him, but it might. And if he drops off on form, then I don't know. Fulham might drop a lot more spaces down the list if they're
Yeah.
not able to
Yeah.
keep a hold of their talisman in Mitrovic. And now Brentford losing Ivan Toney from a suspension, another massive player for them.
Shout out
An
Bet365.
absolute baller of a player, Ivan Toney.
Oh man, no, 100%, man.
I did have Brentford in 17th
Yeah,
because losing Raya, a key piece,
Yeah.
losing Ivan Toney. Ivan Toney is going to be gone for 8 months of the
Yeah,
season,
man.
guys. He comes back for 2 months. There's if you're fighting for that spot, it's going to be difficult to get back in.
exactly.
And he's not allowed to practice until
Yeah.
3 months before. So it's like
Mhm.
he was probably practicing it on the side.
He
or
is
whatever, but
definitely, but he's definitely staying in shape. But these
be
guys
difficult.
lost multitude of players, and I haven't seen any big signings from either of them. So it's gonna be tough for them to fight for those positions.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. Yeah,
I th-
it's gonna be an interesting one.
But definitely, there's a big drop off between the top half of the table and the bottom half of the
Yeah.
table
Yeah.
in quality.
100.
between Brighton, so anywhere from 10th and up, it's
Yeah.
It's a gun show, but down there, it's gonna be a fight.
Oh, buddy, that's
It
gonna
is.
be a dogfight.
Every
gonna be-
point is
Yeah.
gonna really matter.
Exactly.
completely starting game match day 1.
Yeah, 1,000%. All right, let's go a little bit lower in the table. My boys, West Ham, come on, you Irons. But you know what? I had them pretty low myself. I had them literally in 13th. You know, sure, this week they made a massive signing in Edson Alvarez, but losing a guy like Declan Rice is huge for that team, dude. Huge.
Exactly.
Like that's literally how much did he go for? 120 million.
I think it was 106. Yeah,
buddy,
something that.
that's absolutely
That's
nuts, man.
astronomical.
Yeah,
They did get a big sum for Declan Rice, but I don't see them spending that on a player that's going to really replace
don't
him.
think
so.
Like I don't know if they're going to get someone that can fill the shoes he had.
Yeah.
And last season they had a really tough time,
for sure.
especially in the striker department.
Yeah.
And they have not signed a striker to
Yep.
replace.
Yep.
I guess Scamacca who left, but I mean,
They had Mikel Antonio already starting every game. They have Danny Ings still on the bench to go. But yeah, nonetheless, I think the part of their squad that was really lacking last season was at the defensive line. I think that they've lost so many games due to defensive errors, and unfortunately, I haven't seen any moves really from this team to really improve that back line. And that's really where they need it, man.
For West Ham.
For West Ham,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, they did get Maguire.
Well, yeah.
We gotta
Okay.
see how he
Let's
does.
see how he does.
I know everyone might like Maguire as a stigma around him, but I do think he is a really good defensive center
Option,
back. Like he's not gonna be able to play out the back, but if you're a team that's struggling to concede goals, I think he'll definitely help you, especially if he doesn't have, especially if your team sits more back. I mean, West Ham did get James Ward-Prowse, I believe.
I think they're in the process of signing him, but I haven't seen any confirmation yet on that
So if
one.
they do get James Ward-Prowse, that's a huge midfield signing for them. A guy who's very creative, who does have that special set piece ability.
Yeah. I think holding key pieces like Jared Bowen, Mikel Antonio, Lucas Paqueta are huge for them this season.
But Paqueta might go to City
think
if
Paqueta's
City gives them a good fee. They
101 million is a lot of money.
Buddy, I heard 88 today, but I think Man City's not really offering more than that. I'm sorry, if this market reaches higher limits than 88 million for Lucas Paqueta, that's a little crazy at this point. But all to them, if they want to spend that much money on him.
I mean, if they lose Paqueta, West Ham's gonna be struggling.
Oh,
to
100%.
fight for their spot. But
Yeah.
I put them down this far down the list as well, especially because of the striker problem.
Yeah.
I also put them down here because again, they're in Europe.
Yeah.
They're in Europa League.
Exactly.
With like one striker.
Yeah.
They're going to be focused on that as well. Obviously, it's like when you're in Europe, you want to like shine.
Yeah.
And the thing is, here it's going to affect them in the Premier League.
For sure. And I guess they have to really make that decision where they really want to turn their focus to.
What do they want to do?
Exactly. Do you want to have that European glory once again, after winning the Conference League, or focus on surviving the Premier League? Where are you gonna make more money in the end of the day? I think in the end of the day, you make more money staying up in the Premier League than winning Europa League or winning Conference League or something like that. But that's just me throwing stuff in the air. But I think the West Ham struggling team this year. We'll see where they finish. Obviously, I hope for them to see success, but they need some transfers.
Yeah, they do.
All right. I think this latter part of the table and the lower mid table is the tough part. I think this is where we all got it all mixed up around.
Yeah.
Because you can't predict this part.
This part's
These teams are so mediocre down to downright bad.
Honestly, I don't think that I think Burnley is a team that could surprise people.
100%.
I think Burnley. Does everyone have Burnley and Bournemouth to stay up?
Yes.
I think
I had Bournemouth going down.
Oh,
I had
I
Bournemouth
had
going down.
Burnley and
I had
Bournemouth going staying up.
Yeah.
Not too far up the table, but just
they're gonna do what they need to do.
yeah,
That's
they're
what
gonna
I
do what they need to do to survive. I mean, Burnley has made some good signings. I mean, I don't know if you guys watched the U21 Euros, but the English goalie James Trafford from Manchester City transferred to Burnley, and I think that's a massive signing for them.
And they have that other guy in that too as well that put an absolute performance in. Obviously it's preseason, but he had a phenomenal job against Benfica. Benfica couldn't even put one in against him. But
Exactly.
And also put some respect on his name. They got Vincent Kompany as their coach.
Exactly.
How many points did they get in the
a great manager
A lot.
last season?
Oh, buddy. I think there's that famous video of him yelling at his Dutch side
Exactly.
at Anderlecht, just telling his whole team off. This man is the coach you want in that dressing room.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they've also got Nathan Redmond, another
Yeah.
kind of exciting player that not many people talk about. But in his younger days, he was a player with tons and tons of flair.
Oh, massive! He
Cutting
was a
on
massive
the-
player for
cutting on the
Southampton.
wing.
Oh yeah, he was massive for Southampton back in the day. But he's coming back from the Turkish league.
Mm-hmm. With a
Let's-
lot to prove.
Yeah, let's see how he does. Still at a prime age of 29. See what he does for Burnley. Yeah, I think Bournemouth, like I said, I haven't really seen much improvement on their squad. Not that I've seen. I just like the fact they got Michael B. Jordan as one of their owners now, and that's basically all I've heard from that point of view. Yes, I think they finished the season pretty well for a lower side
Lower half. Yeah.
in the Prem, for sure. If they could continue that form as well, maybe they could finish a little bit higher than we've put them. But I have no really high hopes for this Bournemouth side, really. In the end,
I mean, for me, it's like you guys. I think for me, it's like you guys put Bournemouth like really low, and some of you guys had them getting relegated, and I think that's a really unfair thing to say about them. Because if you look at their squad, they actually have some young, talented players.
Dominic Solanke.
I mean, yeah, Dominic Solanke. They just looking at their squad, they have Philip Billing, an underrated player. Another player they have is what's his name?
But let's be real here. I don't think Bournemouth really has much depth to that squad. I think that's why they're in the spot they're in. And realistically, I don't know.
Last season they finished 15th.
Yeah.
15th.
Yeah, and they were literally in a relegation side.
Yeah.
They were relegation.
Anywhere in the
Buddy.
bottom 5.
Yeah.
Through 16th and like 20th.
Yeah.
It's like you're going to be fighting.
Exactly, 100%. And I think Bournemouth is gonna be there's gonna be no surprises there. They're gonna be battling for staying up in the league, survival. Really, in the end of the day. Let's move on to
Now
these
it's where
other
it gets
two
good.
here.
Now it's where it gets good.
I think there's 3 teams that really battle for those last 2 survival spots in the Prem, and this comes down to Everton, Nottingham, and Wolves.
I have Wolves going down.
Dude, all 3 of these teams have major reasons to go down.
Yep.
Massive reasons. I think just starting off with Wolves, they lost massive guys this offseason, man. You lose Ruben Neves. Like
Raul Jimenez even. It's like
Yeah,
even
yeah.
just a rotation player. João Moutinho.
Yeah.
Pretty sure he left.
They lost a lot of experienced players. I mean,
Traore.
Ruben Neves, a massive one.
buddy,
Completely.
yeah, 100%. In the end of the day, these are massive locker room guys. João Moutinho was there forever.
Same
Ruben
thing.
Neves
Ruben
was
Neves
there.
was in the championship with
Yeah,
them.
he was
Yeah.
literally
Came up.
championship with them. And
And another player that we talked about on a previous podcast we did was Mateus Cunha. I mean, they spent 50 million on him
Yeah.
to make him
to
to make his loan permanent, and I'm like, what did you spend 50 million on? You had him for a whole season, and you
Yeah.
still did not figure out that he is not worth 50 million. I mean,
exactly.
I know 50 million in this transfer market right now is not the most amount of money, but I think it's a significant amount of money
For sure.
where you can get a solid striker option, maybe
Completely.
even 2 of them
Oh yeah,
for that
man.
kind of money.
I think it's a little mind-boggling. We've spoken about it before. It's like the Wolves transfer plans and ideas have just been all over the place the past 2 years or so. It's like you're signing random guys out of Portuguese league who aren't even proven in the Portuguese league. You're signing guys that
I mean,
Gonçalo Guedes.
the thing is for them is like, okay,
literally, and he's gone on loan.
That's
again.
what made them successful, though, signing all these Portuguese guys with George Mendes. I'm saying lately they haven't been having that. They haven't been following what their previous strategy of signing these up and coming Portuguese players.
Exactly. And you know what? Like in last season, you're struggling. You literally brought Diego Costa as
I mean, he is a proven striker.
Okay,
I mean,
but
although he is old,
buddy,
He is old though. That's the
he's an old
but I mean,
fart.
when you need
Exactly.
goals, he's not
He'll
a
find
bad
a way.
player to have on your squad. He's very resilient,
Yeah, but
strong.
I think nonetheless, I think Wolves is really gonna struggle this season.
I have Wolves going down.
Buddy.
And I'll vouch for that till the end of the season,
Buddy.
unless Harry Potter puts a spell on them or something.
Unless
Yeah.
you know what, I'll speak this for Andrew. Andrew, if you're watching, I hope you are.
Definitely
Just-
not watching.
Jose Sa that pulls off a performance of his
Yeah,
life
he
this
has to.
season.
You know who I really like watching on Wolves? Daniel Pondence.
Yeah,
I
Daniel
think
Pulliance
he's
is
a
massive for them,
talented
buddy.
player,
Good player.
but I don't think it's gonna be enough.
It's not
No,
gonna be enough.
man,
For
no.
me, it's not.
Yeah, realistically, I think Wolves hasn't improved their squad enough this offseason to really show that they're trying to stay up and really improve on. They had still a really bad season last year, really bad, and they haven't really shown that they want to improve. They've obviously gotten worse, losing massive players for their squad in the dressing room and on the pitch, and I just don't see them really being successful at all this season and just struggling to stay up.
Little fun fact: Ruben Neves is making 6 times his figures that he was at Wolves.
God bless him. God bless him, buddy.
$300,000 a week.
Buddy, generational wealth.
Tax free.
Buddy,
And you wonder why.
generational wealth right
Player
there,
who
buddy.
won
My
Saudi
goodness.
League.
Even if you just stayed there for a season, lad.
Oh, Jesus.
Praise
man.
all to you.
Honestly. You guys want to continue off on Nottingham?
I guess we'll talk about the bottom. The bottom. I guess the four that could rotate around here, in my opinion. I mean, Nottingham could stay up. I'm not gonna lie.
I think so, only because of simple fact, Anthony Alanga.
Yeah,
That's the only thing.
they do have. They also have a talented man in Morgan Gibbs White.
Yeah.
But you know what? Like,
They do have some
Oh.
talented options.
buddy,
And Cheeky Killer Navas
yeah,
saved them last season.
buddy, they made like 36 new signings last season.
Yeah.
36. Like, buddy, you gotta give this team time to gel. Like, realistically, I think this team. They got Taiwo Anui, whatever his name is. He was massive for Union Berlin the year before he came to the Prem. I think just last, like, his glimpses of class and really how well he could play. But I think this season he really has to take the step up and score at least double-figure goals. And you know, this team needs to really show that they can gel together and prove to be better. I think this is one of those teams that either they get relegated or they could finish even higher. Like, they could finish like mid, like,
I think I have them 14th.
yeah, they could finish like 12th. I wouldn't be surprised if they finish between 12th and 17th.
Could finish here or
Yeah,
here.
literally. It comes down to the squad and how they are managed in the end of the day.
Exactly. I mean, I'm just looking at the bottom of our conjoined table, and we have Everton going down. And I don't know. I don't think Everton's going down.
I think they're just gonna.
I think they're just gonna
stay.
scrape by.
Yeah, I have them in 16th. It's
Yeah.
like they're
I
just gonna
have
stay
them
up.
one position up like they did
I had
last
one
season.
position.
I had two, but same thing. It's like
They
it's gonna-
Everton has never been relegated before. They're one of 6 teams to never be relegated from the Premier League, and I don't think they're gonna get relegated this
I don't
season.
think this is the time.
Yeah.
Maybe in a few years.
If
I'm
they
not saying
continue down this
but-
path,
Yeah.
if they
Oh,
keep on living on the edge, then yes. But I don't think they're gonna go
I
down
don't
this
think it's the
season.
time.
Exactly.
I mean, the last two guys, you have the two teams that just came up
Yeah.
this season: Luton Town and Sheffield. I mean, Luton Town, I think, has only spent like 10 million.
Yeah, that's literally why I have them 20th. And if they get
And
more
they-
than 20 points, I will be impressed.
Buddy, I told Ale at the gym, I'm like, literally, if they could pull off more than one win on this season, I will be, I'll applaud them.
I mean, you got to
what they
give them some respect, but at the same time, they did sell their striker, and I think they made 2 other changes to their squad, and they've only bring in like 10 million's worth of players.
They made loan signings.
Exactly.
That's it.
Like if you don't invest in your
You have to.
squad,
You have
Yeah.
to.
you're going straight back down. where you
Oh,
came
100%. We've seen it in the past, man. We've seen it multiple years.
Teams
or,
come
like,
up, go straight back down.
Exactly, man. You can't come into the best league in the world and expect to stay up with your championship side. Basically, your same championship
Exactly.
side.
So, not even championship, literally League 2 side.
Oh, buddy.
Because
literally,
not League 2, but like League 1.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Most of those guys have been around each
Exactly.
other. Don't they have the guy that stayed with them
Since
non-league?
yeah,
That's impressive.
that's wild.
There, I'll give them one of these.
Yeah, exactly.
Clap.
But
Pat
what
my
I've
back.
heard is, who knows if their stadium is even going to be ready, like Premier
true
League
too.
approved, brother.
Yeah.
Like, come on, like they're having so many struggles outside of just their squad alone. Like, I just don't see them going anywhere past last
Can
place.
kick the ball straight into your nan's house.
Buddy,
Yeah.
straight up. But buddy, yeah, it's like if I see them go anywhere close to outside relegation, brother, I applaud
Impressive.
them. Yeah.
Yeah, same story with Sheffield. I mean, like I haven't heard any big transfer news from Sheffield, and I think they're going straight back down too.
I completely agree.
I mean, the bottom half of the table is kind of cutthroat. I mean, like these teams are all pretty bolstered with like some pretty good players, and I don't know. I don't see them staying up.
Yeah, and realistically, Sheffield United made the same mistake last time they came up.
Yeah.
Buddy, their biggest signing back then was Ryan Brewster. He was their record signing. Jesus Christ, that man has done absolutely nothing for them.
Even the year prior, the only reason they stayed up was because Dean Henderson played out of his
Oh,
mind.
exactly. Yeah.
He played so well.
Buddy,
That's
yeah.
the only reason.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This team, I just see no success coming from this team. And the only reason why they finished one ahead of Luton is I think they just have that little bit better team than Luton.
I think they get one extra draw. End of story.
That's it.
That's it, buddy. Straight up. But yeah.
Luton gets 0 points. Sheffield gets 1 against Everton.
Yeah, man.
One thing's for sure: when it comes to bottom quarter of the table, every point counts.
Completely.
Yeah.
Like I said, starting match day 1.
Goal difference and point
100%.
will count and catch up to you at the end.
At
of
least
the
right now,
season.
Luton is mid-table because the L's.
Exactly. But like, this is what I like about the top half of this table is this league is such an open league. Realistically,
Definitely.
especially in the past 2-3 years,
Yep.
this league has been
Well,
entertaining. 2 years, I want to say.
anywhere from 2 to 7th, it's interchangeable.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Like,
buddy.
first, it's
Yeah.
And
Like,
and even if you were watching the top team versus the bottom team, you can always be guaranteed that top team, that bottom team, is always gonna put a shift in,
of course.
oh, for sure.
and they're gonna come to try to win.
Imagine like Liverpool playing away at Luton. It's gonna be difficult though for them.
Oh,
it's
There-
gonna
buddy.
be
There's gonna be a great atmosphere on in the Luton area.
Exactly.
like they say, a cold night in Stoke. Can you do it on a cold night in Stoke?
Exactly.
Can you do it
Yes.
on a cold night in Luton?
Oh, buddy. That's going to be the tough question this year in the Prem. But nonetheless, I like where we have this Premier League table ending.
Mhm.
I think we made some good decisions here. Some questionable ones as well.
Exactly.
We'll leave that for you guys down in the comments.
Let us
And-
know what we got right. Let us know if what we got wrong, if we've disrespected some of your teams, if we haven't mentioned any signings that may be pivotal to their position on the tables. And other than that, we'll catch you guys next time.
Ciao for now, boys.
Thank you for having me, guys.
Of course, buddy. Take it easy.
I'm straight from a block, we're flipping a 2 to a 4 ain't an option. I hustle out, hustle by nipping and nipping. I'm destined to get it, you know that I'm all in, see money be calling. No bricks for piss, no stalling. White boy with a shotty like Holland. Better pay your shit like ASAP or show bro like go call a mobbing. Batman in the ends love robbing. Curfew down by 10, so see a girl like mine like see her, cause ain't no way you'll see her, she a low-key diva.